One of the most overlooked pieces of strategy and pieces of business building that I think there is in the world, one of the things that not enough people teach about, not enough people talk about, and not enough people use is email marketing. If you are wanting to grow your business, if you want to make sales on autopilot, if you want to be able to make money in a pinch or a crunch, then you need to be diving deep into your email marketing strategy. So today, I'm going to talk about email marketing from a beginner's level. We're going to talk about what it is, why you need it, why it's important, how to do it, all the things. What's up, buttercups? You're new here. My name is Jessica Stansberry, and I run a media company called Hey Jessica, where we create content just like this that you're watching to help you start, build, and grow the business of your dreams to support the life of your dreams. So if that sounds like something you don't want to miss, make sure you hit subscribe below so you don't miss any other videos from me on this channel. All right, so email marketing. What the frig is it? That's where we're gonna start, okay? So email marketing, and this is nobody's official definition, this is just from Dictionary Day Jessica, and email marketing is basically a way to cultivate people ideal clients, who should want what you have to sell, and then using email as a way to market your products or services and sell them. Now, a few things you need to know. An email list is probably the most important thing you need in your business. Beyond Instagram followers, beyond YouTube subscribers, Facebook followers, beyond all of it. An email list is probably the most important thing you need. Here's why. The people on your email list have opted in to be there. They have taken more of a step than just hitting follow on Instagram. They've taken more of a step than just liking your page on Facebook. They have taken a step to say, I'm gonna give this person my email address. And I know just as much as you know that people protect their email addresses these days because we don't want a bunch of spam, right? So the people on your list are, one, more invested, but two, they are more filtered as people that want what you're selling, because hopefully the way they got on your email list is by, purchasing or signing up for some kind of free thing even that would only be helpful to someone who wants what you're selling. So example, and I'm gonna do a whole video on how to build your email list in the future, but just an example here. Let's say you want to attract people who want to homeschool. That's very fresh on my mind because I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing with my children because North Carolina can't make up their freaking mind. But let's say you want to attract people who want to homeschool. And you know that you have a program you want to sell to them. Maybe you put out a freebie on Pinterest or even run ads to it or put it out on social media that is like, the beginner's guide to homeschooling. It's an entire PDF and it's gonna tell them everything they need to know to get started, make the decision, and figure out how to homeschool their children, okay? And it's free. They can then give you their email address and now they're on your email list. And now down in the line, or even in a couple of emails to come after they get on your list, you can pitch them your homeschooling course. Or another way to get them on the list is to go ahead and sell them something. Maybe you sell them a packet of things to get started with their homeschooling journey, and it's $7 or it's $12 or it's $15 or $27 or something. They come into your email list already a customer. So when you have something else to offer homeschool moms, you have a whole group of people. Whereas if you post on Instagram on the regular, and yes, you're talking to homeschool moms, you could still have random people following you on Instagram. Your email list is a way for them to kind of qualify themselves as people who would want your thing. Does that make sense? So not only is it full of people who are more invested, it's also full of more of the right people. And probably the most important thing is that it is a list of people who want part in your business and want to hear from you that you own. You do not own your Instagram followers. You do not own your blog traffic. You do not own your YouTube subscribers. If YouTube deemed that your channel was unfit, it could take it down. And how do you have to get back in touch with those people? You don't. If you weren't building an email list anyway. If you did something to tick Instagram or Facebook off, your account can be down and they don't have to tell your followers where you are now, right? So your email list is literally the only way
way
that you can own people who are interested in hearing from you. Because if you want to download your email list and print it off and put it in your pocket, you can. And you could like individually email those people later or put them in another software or whatever. You own the people on your email list. You own the names on your email list versus, not really having a dog in the fight on social media. So it's really important because you can take people from all your social medias, from YouTube, from Instagram, from wherever, and you can cultivate them into a list of people that you can email if you need to sell to them, to nurture them, to talk to them, whatever, across all platforms. So I feel like that might have been a little complicated, but essentially overarching, your email list should be the hub for where the people who want to know more from you, want to buy from you, whatever, are. Whether they came in from Instagram, from a freebie, from an ad, from Pinterest, from YouTube, whatever, that should be the place that you're always trying to get your people. And just a quick little asterisk there, it's also probably one of the only platforms that you can measure conversion rates from. So absolutely, you may be able to say, well, for every 1,000 followers I get on Instagram, I can sell $400 worth of products or whatever. You can definitely do that math. But with an email list, there are industry standards and there are ways to kind of figure out like, hey, if I send an email every single month, I know I'm going to make this much money. If I grow my email list by this amount of people, I know I'm going to have this many more people sign up for my webinar or whatever. So it's more quantifiable and more calculatable to your sales and conversions and all of that. Okay, so now that you kind of get it, let's talk about first the tech, second the strategy. All right, you have to have a software to host your email list. A lot of times, especially when I'm talking to people who aren't familiar at all with email list building, they think that they need like a spreadsheet with email lists or email addresses in it, and then they will like email those people from like Gmail. That is not what you're gonna do. Not even remotely. You are going to have a software that when you want to promote a freebie that's going to grow your list, or you want to sell something that's going to grow your list, it will automatically capture those email addresses and put them in a bank of people within the software. So when you want to send an email, you can do it from within the software. When you want to talk to only the people who signed up with this freebie and not the people who signed up with this freebie, you can filter them out within the software. So first and foremost, you need to pick a software. Nowadays, a lot of software start out free, and that's really awesome. There are definitely some that don't. There are definitely some that are complicated, some are easy, etc., etc. What I would suggest to you is that you use ConvertKit. Now, let me tell you a quick little story about my journey with ConvertKit. I used all kinds of other programs in the past. I have switched off of ConvertKit and went to other programs, but I've always landed back on ConvertKit, and that is because I really enjoy their program, their software, their employees, their team. Like, I enjoy all of it. And I think it's easy to use. I think it's great for beginners. I also think it's really great for people who want to create content and then use that content to sell things. I think it's a really, really, really great software. So if I was going to pick, I would pick ConvertKit. I will link them below as well. And they actually now have like free accounts. You can start free if you have under a certain amount of subscribers, etc. So it's a really great way to go. Now, you can absolutely use things like Constant Contact, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, but I would caution you here. I wouldn't use MailChimp if it were me, and I could go into a whole slew of reasons there, but I actually have a video on ConvertKit versus MailChimp, so I will link that below and have it pop across too, so you can go watch that later, but I wouldn't use MailChimp. ActiveCampaign and Constant Contact are definitely more complicated than ConvertKit. They also have less of an open rate than ConvertKit, which is really, really important. If you're paying to have people on an email list, if you are taking the time to email them, you better hope that they open the emails. So if I were starting fresh, if I were starting brand new, I would start with ConvertKit. So yeah. That's my spiel there, but there's tons of different softwares. So if you want to do research on that, I would absolutely research like email marketing softwares and make sure that they're right for your industry, because some of the softwares are built specific to specific industries. Okay, so now that you have figured out the technology, let's talk about the strategy behind email marketing. Let me give you the example that most people are going to have to come to their brain when they think about getting an email marketing campaign. If you have ever got an email from like Old Navy or some other clothing company and it's just a bunch of pictures and it's like sale on jeans and like this t-shirt and these things and that thing, then that is an email marketing campaign. But that does not work. That strategy, that type of email marketing does not work for small business owners. You cannot send a bunch of photo bombed promos to your email list and expect them to stay around and not unsubscribe. Now, if you are a product-based business, you can definitely get away with this more than if you're service or information-based or whatever, but it's still something you want to tiptoe around. You don't want to constantly be abusing your email list with sales and ways that they can buy from you because they signed up because you gave them a helpful resource to get there. They signed up because they thought you could help them. So if all you're doing is inundating them and bombarding them with sales, they're going to unsubscribe and then you don't have them anymore. And there you go. Your email list is the place that you need to take advantage of to nurture your people. You want to use your email list, you want to use the emails from you as a way for them to get to know you on a deeper level before you try and push sales on them. I always say with pretty well anything in life, with any type of marketing, that you want to keep it 80-20. You want to give them helpful, free, substantial, nurturing information and content 80% of the time, and you want to sell to them 20% of the time. You don't want to be selling 80 and giving helpful things 20 because they will just dip out and leave. I've used this example 1,000 times and I'm not the only one, but basically you should treat the people on your email list as if you are dating them. It would be really weird if someone introduced you and gave, somebody gave you their phone number so you could call them and date them, and the first call you made to them was asking them to marry you. That would be super strange and probably not something people want to do. That's what it's like when someone gives you their email address and all you do is sell to them. You want to take them through a process of getting to know you, like you, and trust you before you sell to them. So it's the equivalent of, okay, here's my phone number, call me sometime, and you calling and asking that person out on a date. And then after that date, asking them on another date. And then after that date, asking them on another. And taking it slow, and then finally moving in together, and then finally getting engaged, and then finally getting married, right? So it's one of those things where this email marketing is not a fast track to sales, but once you have the system set up, it is a fast track to nurturing your people, getting them to know you, like you, and trust you, and then being able to sell to them 20% of the time. So if you were my client and you said, I'm starting an email list, I don't know what to do with it, what should I do? I would tell you this. I would say, 1, you need to write emails like you're writing them to a friend. They don't need to be corporate emails. They don't need to be loaded with photos. And that's another one of the reasons I really enjoy ConvertKit, because they don't really have their software set up to load it full of photos and make it look like one of those big promo emails, because they know that that decreases open rates and delivery rates. So they are built to send emails like you're sending an email to a friend. So I would tell my client, I would say, first of all, you need to send an email like you're talking to a friend. You need to let people get to know you. You need to help them. You need to send them an email once a week. In those emails, you want to give them helpful information that's going to help them on their journey, wherever that is. So if they are people who are learning to homeschool, then send them information and ways that you can help them do that. If they are people who are lovers of home decor, send them an email teaching them something every week, or telling them, a strategy for home decor or whatever. If they are fashion lovers, send them emails where you have sourced some awesome fashion resources or whatever. If you have an email list full of people who are CEOs of companies and you offer strategy, then send them emails every week where you're giving them information that will help them in their CEO journey for free. You don't want this to be a sales tactic. It is a sales tactic, but you don't want it to be the only like meat behind the email list, right? So again, if you were my client, that's what I would tell you. I would say send an email once a week, make it really helpful. And then once you've built a relationship with people, then sell to them. So this might look like once they get on your email list, they came in through a freebie, they get a sequence of emails spaced out for a week or a couple of days or whatever that let them get to know you. And then at the end, you pitch them your services or your product or whatever. This might also look like building your email list and really only sending out promo emails every few months or every 6 weeks or so. It can look different for every business, but you want to take that time to date those people on your email list. So email marketing should not be emails full of photos that are just promoting your stuff and you don't care about the person on the other end and all you're ever doing is selling. It should be a way to nurture people to get to know you better, to get to know your company better, so that when you're ready to sell to them, they are ready to buy. Okay, so that's really, as far as like getting started and really knowing what you need to know for email marketing as a beginner, that's really it. You need to know what software you want to use and you need to know how to strategically get people on the list, but also what to do with them once they get there. I am going to do a whole video on how to build your email list next week. So in one of next week's videos, there's going to be a whole like process on, I've just started my email list. I have my software. I get the strategy. I need to know how to get people on the list. It's going to be all about that. So definitely stick around for that. And if you have any specific email marketing questions, for sure leave them in the comments below, because that's where I'm going to come back to and say, okay, I need to answer that. I need to answer that. I need to make sure this is in another video, etc. And don't forget, I've put links below for everything I talked about today, videos that I referenced, ConvertKit, anything else I talked about is below in the description. And until next time, don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss any other tips and tricks with me each week. Bye, y'all.